Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. You're watching the Night at Night. I'm Stephania Jimenez. A building that was very special for San Antonians is now no more. If you remember the Midnight Rodeo, the building where that business was for 38 years burned down this morning. The fire was so powerful that it actually collapsed the walls and roof. Firefighters say the metal and alcohol bottles left over from the old bar actually made it worse because those things acted as fuel. The bar closed in 2019, but up until a week ago, it still has some electricity. Neighbors have been complaining about that for years, that the property was causing problems, especially with people staying in the building illegally.
It's very sad. And then when it got closed, there was graffiti and there's trash and 18-wheelers were hanging out, and it was very sad. And I was hoping that somebody would buy it and do something with it before it came to this point.
When neighbors complained about it, the city's dangerous assessment response team did go, checked it out. Members went into the building about a month ago and they shut off electricity. Now, this fire actually caused smoke damage to nearby businesses. Tonight, San Antonio police are investigating a stabbing at a home that sent a man in his 30s to the hospital. Happened around 3 this morning in the 2300 block of West Poplar Street, which is on the west side. Officers say the suspect and victim both lived at the house and got into a fight. Police say the victim was stabbed several times in the arms and legs. He was taken to University Hospital and is expected to be okay. The suspect, though, left the house before police got there. A worker at a north side construction site had to be rescued after falling into a 20-foot hole. Happened around 10 this morning in the 100 block of Interpark Boulevard. San Antonio fire officials say crews were laying pipe when a man fell from the top of the trench onto a large pipe. He was taken to University Hospital to be checked out. Maybe it was the guilt, but San Antonio police say that a man turned himself in after being a suspect in a Target robbery where a bike was stolen. So let's go back and tell you the story from the beginning. 36-year-old Guillermo Lozano is now charged with robbery. Now we'll go back. Happened on September 12th at the Target store on Northwest Loop 410 near Blanco Road. The arrest affidavit states that Lozano tried to inflate a bike tire inside the store before an employee stopped him. And then he allegedly left with the bike. More than a month later, Lozano returned to the store and turned himself in. Now his bond is at $60,000. A man accused of attempting to steal a car ended up with a ride to the hospital instead with life-threatening bullet wounds. The car's owner shot him. The owner left the car running while he was inside his home to get his kids ready for school. The owner says that he saw the suspect and told police that he feared for his life when he saw him make a move. That's when the owner says he opened fire. Now we're told that the other guy ran off the scene at Springvale Drive near Medina Base Road and Loop 410. At this point, though, we don't know if any charges are going to be filed. $300 million in compensation funds for Uvalde school shooting victims. That's what State Senator Roland Gutierrez wants to see, and he announced plans to file the bill in the next legislative session. He was at the Uvalde Town Square today, surrounded by victims' families earlier today when he said that. Now, Gutierrez says that he's going to file the proposal for the Uvalde Victims Compensation Act on November 11th. Gutierrez says that those $300 million are to give the families of the deceased and survivors the time to grieve. $7.7 million would go to each of the families of the deceased. $2.1 million would go to each of those seriously injured. The state senator says that Texas needs to pay that money because it failed the kids, teachers, and the community of Uvalde.
The 7.7 is clear. Those kids waited for 77 minutes while cops did nothing. The 2.1 million is for the 21 people that died, and that goes to injured children, because forever they'll have to live with a survivor's guilt among many other traumas that they'll have to deal with in their lives.
Gutierrez says the money would come from the billions of dollars the state has in its surplus. San Antonio police need your help finding a woman who disappeared on the west side back on September 13th. So right now, police are looking for that woman, 75-year-old Barbara Luthi. She was last seen in the 2000 block of San Lucas, not far from Hunt Lane and Marbach Road. She's described as 5 feet 3 inches tall with green eyes, glasses, and blonde hair. Anybody with information is asked to contact SAPD's Missing Persons Unit. That number on your screen there at the bottom, it's 210-207-7660. Now we want to get you ready for Friday Eve. Meteorologist Adam Caskey has your forecast.
Get ready for another round of fog and a little bit of dampness to start the day tomorrow and affect the morning commute. Then some afternoon sunshine, making it to 83 degrees after a morning low of 67. Humid all day long. And by the way, the off chance of a stray sprinkle even in the afternoon tomorrow. Same goes for Friday. Morning fog, a little bit of dampness. But Friday evening, a cold front gives us a 30% chance of a thin line of thunderstorms with the off chance of a severe storm. We don't have the highest confidence in us seeing much rain around here, so don't count on much. Then this weekend, low humidity and fall-like.
After today, there are only 2 days left of early voting. Already more than 224,000 people in Bexar County have voted. And although that number seems high, it's not keeping up with 2018. The Bexar County Elections Administrator, Jackie Callanan, said that early voting is actually down 13%. That's despite registration being up by 11%. Callanan says that usually the last 3 days are the busiest for early voting, but she is still lowering her expectations.
And I went into it saying, hey, we're going to have 650,000 people vote. Now I'm pretty much down to 500, 550. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But that seems to, if we just project the numbers we're seeing right now.
Tomorrow, Callanan is going to meet with the Election Day officials to talk about final reminders, also last-minute changes. By the way, Election Day, don't forget, is November 8th. And with Election Day next Tuesday, we are showing you all the races and candidates for this midterm election. A key race this year, of course, is for Texas governor. 4 months ago, KSAT extended invitations for a one-on-one interview to both Governor Greg Abbott and Democratic candidate Beto O'Rourke. But only one of those candidates agreed. And tonight, our Steve Spriester is going to sit down with Beto O'Rourke. You're going to hear what he's saying about abortion, immigration, and gun control in the midst of Uvalde. That's tonight on the Nightbeat. And then tomorrow, Governor Greg Abbott's going to be in Bexar County, and we're going to cover his remarks and have them on the Nightbeat Thursday. The other big event that we're looking to after the election is, of course, Thanksgiving. The Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner hasn't happened in 2 years because of COVID, but thousands of people are hoping to make it this year. It would be the 43rd year of the huge event. The dinner is going to be November 24th at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, but there is one potential snag. You see, there's been an increase in food costs, which many of you know about, and organizers are worried that there won't be as many donations this year to make that possible. Now, before we go, many of you have been worried about RSV, and now an RSV for older adults is in the works, a vaccine that is. It would be the first of its kind. The pharmaceutical company GSK announced that the FDA accepted its application for an RSV vaccine specifically for seniors. The FDA agreed to give the vaccine an expedited review. The agency says it's going to announce a decision by early May. Also this week, which we told you yesterday, Pfizer announced positive results from a recent study of its RSV vaccine for babies. Just like that, we are out of time. The 9 at Night returns tomorrow. Have a beautiful night. We'll see you then.